No.
Can you hear me now?
No. A little bit. Most added, most players.
Okay, you're live right now.
Oh, I am live. Hi there, everybody. Can you hear me? Anybody hear us? Hey, DK. That guy. Unholy. Jonathan Cole. Anybody hear me? Okay? My prostate issues, I'm out of bed. I'm out of bed every 10 minutes. So there you go. And good morning. I just want to know, can anybody hear me? Anybody have any sound?
Sound good? Do we have an echo?
I don't care about the echo. Right?
They're saying what you hear. You don't care about the echo. Okay.
All right. Could you hear both of us? You see, we should have done this an hour ago, but that's what happens when you're.
Lenny, I've been doing this for the last 2.5 hours.
I haven't done it. I haven't tested it, and I think this trip. By the way, here's an update. We are headed back to New York. Andy's condition is much improved, but we are doing the right thing, going back. She's got the Bell's palsy. If you didn't hear, a minor case. We're going back right now. We are back in our hometown, the great state of Amarillo, and Amarillo, Texas, at the Big Texan. It's terrific, okay? So we are, there's an echo. Okay, there's an echo. All right, well, I can't, right now, the echo is probably me burping. That's about the only thing.
Oops, I hung up on you.
All right, good. So anyway, all right, so it's 2 months into the trip. Anytime you want to take a 2-month road trip, check with me first. Andy, I don't know if you can hear Andy, but I would ask her if you had to do it again. Are we doing this again? I don't know. Are we doing it again? Now, all my notes are all screwed up because I can't find those either. And but otherwise, we're doing pretty good. All right, so Madison Baumgartner, okay? Madison Baumgartner. The reports are, and you've seen it out there, I'm not telling you, I'm not the first one to tell you this, as I'm trying to figure out exactly where I'm trying to find. I'm trying to find something, I don't even know what it is.
Google Docs.
Google Docs, I think I found it. Here, that's where I have my notes. And yes, Google Docs is right here, and there you go. And we're right down there, and there you go. Okay, there you go. Yeah, I didn't open it today. Andy says I didn't open it today. There it is right there. All right, good for you, sweetheart. All right, now, 10 players reached the qualifying. I have my Google Docs right here. 10 players received qualifying offers. You know about Garrett Cole, Strasburg, Rendon, Donaldson. You know about Mad Bum and Abreu, Will Smith, Ozuna, Zach Wheeler, and Jake Odorizzi. They have 10 players. The 10 players have $17.8 million. They have to, let the teams know what they're doing. Okay, the Atlanta Braves, hoping to re-sign free agent Josh Donaldson, naturally gave him a qualifying offer, but they did decline Julio Teheran's $12 million option. Yes, ma'am.
I want to check Skype to make sure the echo's gone.
Okay, let's check Skype.
Chat room.
I can't see the chat room because I only have one screen. So is the echo still there?
Gone, thank you.
Echo's gone. Thank you very much. Okay. So Andy, you can talk too. We can do this show anyway. Okay. So Andy, if you had to take the position, how would you grade this road trip so far? 2 months on the road with the legend. How do you grade it so far?
Exciting.
Exciting. Okay, let's just grade it, moment by moment. Okay, waking up in the morning. Let's start with that. How would you grade that?
I'm nice now.
Oh, she's actually nice waking up in the morning. Okay, getting in the car, traveling 600 miles a day. How would you grade that?
So bad.
So bad. Okay, and then going to bed with the legend. How would you rate that? Fantasy. That's a true fantasy. Okay. Living the dream. Okay, that's right. So once again, Atlanta looking to sign Josh Donaldson. They did not. And Julio Teheran actually, Julio Teheran may benefit by this, I think he's got to get away from that ballpark and the whole thing. Teheran may actually do better having his $12 million option declined as the Braves did. He could get a multi-year offer somewhere else. The Braves saw him as someone who helps in the regular season, but was definitely not a postseason starter so far. Okay, and the $12 million was a little steep. So that seems to be the story there. Outside of that kind of stuff, there's really not a lot of hot news going on. Not a lot of hot news going on, but we'll give you what is. And of course, we all know that J.D. Martinez is going to make $62.5 million over the last 3 years of his deal. But here's the kicker: he also has 2 opt-outs left on his contract. 2 opt-outs. So Martinez decides to stay in Boston, and he recognizes that he has opt-outs in the next couple of years. And J.D. may have bolted from the Red Sox, but very simple. No team let on that they were willing to spend more than $62.5 million for Martinez that he's owed. Now, Alex Anthopoulos made a statement the other day, and this is just the beginning. Another big problem for Major League Baseball. He reports on the fact that all that this is called under the heading of, we'll call it, we haven't heard this word yet, definitely have not heard this word yet, but under the heading of collusion. Okay? And it's not real collusion. All right? Collusion. Okay? All right? Collusion. All right? Every team knows what the other teams are thinking. And how far do they know? Do they know how far the other teams are going to go? It's going to be talked about that the teams know what each other's going to do. Good morning to DK Lush and Doug Boyle and Kevin. Great job by Kevin Hastings, that guy, and Unholy Toledo. Thanking you all. Greg is in Dayton, Ohio right now. Contacted me yesterday to see if we were coming through. So there you go. So that takes care of that, okay? And with J.D. Martinez, I also think that the agents know. The agents know what the teams are thinking, what all the teams are thinking. That's a good agent. So JT found out that the teams aren't going. So there's something wrong with the free agent market. There's something wrong, the teams knowing what each other is thinking, and there's something wrong that even the agents know what the teams are thinking, okay? The St. Louis Cardinals don't appear interested in a long-term contract with free agent outfielder Marcell Ozuna, but they did want to make a qualifying offer to assure a draft pick compensation. Okay, we all know that Cole Calhoun option was declined by the Angels. Okay, the Twins are going to decline a $7.5 million option on Martin Perez. And there you have it, man. I mean, so far, that's the action. Nothing hot and heavy. The Brewers would be willing to bring back Eric Thames at their price, which is below $7.5 million. The Twins extending the qualifying offer to Jake Odorizzi. He'd like a multi-year deal, but this could be an interesting call for him. Interesting, up and down season, a lot of up, some mediocrity, and there will be and some downs. I don't think the jury is convinced that Jake Odorizzi is a number one pitcher, and he may be looking for big-time money on the free agent offer, okay? As far as also back to the Braves, by moving $2 million, they moved $2 million on Markakis and Flowers, but they still managed to pay them $4 million for this year, $2 million for next year, so they opened up some space. That's why the interest in Baumgartner, Wheeler, or Dallas Keuchel is heavy for the Atlanta Braves because they're freeing up money to make some kind of a move, okay? And here's a question for you. Let's go to the chat room and ask the question, okay? Madison Baumgartner, that's one name. And good morning to Unholy Toledo. Did I say hello to Unholy? Yeah, there you go. Here's the question. How old is Madison Baumgartner? Anybody want to guess how old Madison Baumgartner is? I have two players whose ages really, baffled me. Madison Baumgartner, okay? How old is Andrew? Andrea, you're a piece of garbage for doing that. We talked about this yesterday, and now you show what a genius you are. What do you have to say about that?
told you.
That's right. Yes, I told you. But still, Madison Bumgarner is age 30, okay? Everybody writes 29, so he may be 29, okay? 29, 30. So give me the keys to what? Are you going to call me? What are you talking about? Here, call me from the car. Listen from the car. Okay, so Madison Bumgarner is 30. Let's say he's 30, okay? That's what the listing has. I go up to RotoWire, he's 30. Let me ask you a question. Let's talk about ages. How old is Zach Wheeler? Zach Wheeler, let me throw that one out there. Okay, we got Madison Bumgarner at 30. How old is Zach Wheeler? Okay, the youngster that the Mets have, who everybody says has a great future. That's it. They're probably going to be and the Cubs trading Chris Bryant and Wilson Contreras. I don't know. We'll see. Let's see. How old is Zach Wheeler? Kevin Hastings says 30. Zach Wheeler is 30? Kevin, are you sure? Because if that's the case, Kevin Hastings, then Zach Wheeler is basically the same age as Madison Bumgarner. Holy mackerel. Holy macaroni and cheese. Doug Boyle, 27, bull dickey. Kevin hit it. You got Bumgarner and Wheeler are about 9 months apart in age. Now if that doesn't surprise you, let me know. I wish we all take the position that Madison Bumgarner is a free agent, is a veteran. The veteran Madison Bumgarner. We take the position that Kevin Hastings is he's a veteran too. But we take the position that what do you call it? Zach Wheeler is a youngster. One of the young Mets phenoms, right? Wheeler, and Bull Dickey and Poppycock. Wheeler and Bumgarner are basically the same age. What, are you kidding me? You got to be kidding. Wheeler and Bumgarner are the same age? Let me know if that surprised you, okay? Let me know if you're surprised by that. I'd like to know that, because I was surprised by it. That's for sure. Wheeler will get a $17.8 million qualifying offer from the Mets. He won't accept it. He's in line for a big deal. But by offering it, they get the draft choice. If he signs elsewhere, he could also try to sign him to a long-term. Look, the Mets have to make a long-term deal. As I mentioned, the Brewers declined Eric Thames, but they still want to sign him. They traded, if you didn't know this, and I this went under the wire, under the radar. Chase Anderson was traded. I didn't even know it. The Brewers, Chase Anderson, okay, was traded by the Brewers. I don't even know who got him. I have to see who got him. Chase Anderson was traded by the Brewers. That saved some money, raised the possibility they could go for one of the bigger free agents. They've gotten by without spending big on the rotation until now, but now it could finally happen. Okay, so I forget who was Chase Anderson traded to. Okay, I forget what team he was traded to. But Chase Anderson's traded. Anthony Rizzo, you talk about the Cubs. His option was originally $4.5 million, but had a $5 million in escalations in his contract for finishing in the top 5 in MVP voting 2 times. So his contract is getting up there. So and the Mets are hoping to bring back Chili Davis, who finally, on one team he sucked, and now he's the hitting coach on the Mets, who they say did a terrific job with Alonso and McNeil and Davis and all these guys. So he goes from from the doghouse in Chicago to the outhouse in the Mets. Okay, the Brewers are also hoping to retain Mike Moustakas, so we'll see if they can do that. And Anthony Rendon. Actually, look, Washington and Rendon, they've been battling. They've been making counteroffers to each other, okay? He wants to stay with the Nats, that's for sure. But it's fair to assume he loves Washington and the Nats, but it's also fair to assume his price has gone up now that he's a free agent coming off a Brooks Robinson, a better than Brooks Robinson kind of year and postseason. And the Nationals want to keep Strasburg. Word is they're willing to give him a nice annual raise from his $25 million. So, well, they're trying. They're trying. Okay, Strasburg looks at comps. Scherzer, $210 million for 7 years. Greinke, $206 million for 6 years. Why should he be paid any different? That's the question. And here's the question I've been asking all along. When it comes down to it, and Andy will be taking over in just a few minutes, okay, Andy? So you can come in. But are you a little concerned with Steven Strasburg having a healthy season? If Strasburg has a healthy season, do you think the odds of him having an unhealthy season next year increase? Okay? There you go. Right? Yep, that's right. The jumpy baseball. Good point by Doug. The baseball made a lot of hitting coaches look pretty good this year, right? Pretty good. That's what I think. All right? Where is Doug Boyle? Doug, I know you're out there. Come on, let's say hello to Doug Boyle. Doug, I know you're out there, Doug. There you go. Doug, well, where are you, Doug? Come on. I'm doing my Donald Trump impersonation right now. Where are you, Doug? Ever notice how the Donald does that? You say what you want about him as president. As a personality, if you notice in every press conference, he's always looking for somebody, right? And he it always makes it seem like he knows the guy personally. Where are you, Doug? Come on, Doug. Where are you? You listen to anything he says. He's always looking for somebody at some point. Okay. The Nationals want to keep Ryan Zimmerman, and look, no secret, he is Mr. Nat. He wants to finish his career in Washington, and he'll sign for something. They won't pick up Ryan Zimmerman's $18 million option, but the word is that they're interested in bringing him back for a lower salary. Now, Roldis Chapman. He was trying for 2 extra years, but settled for 1 with a slight raise right at the deadline. So Roldis Chapman gets an extra year on his contract. As we remember, we talked. Chapman was eligible to be a free agent. Kenley Jansen as well, eligible to be a free agent. Okay? Now, I just want to tell you that we have a big announcement to make in the next couple of days, okay? As you all know, we had this network thing going, and it's done great. We had a couple of mishaps, a couple of, like defectors, if you want to say, and that's fine. It is fine, because it's actually going to make it better, okay? So we have something really huge. It's going to be fantastic, and we can't wait to get it going, okay? Can't wait, okay? Can't wait to get it going. So, I'm just answering a question. North Carolina, okay? And we'll see how long that takes to get. All right, so we got North Carolina. That's our next destination, North Carolina. And being that we're in Texas, I don't know where tomorrow's going to be, so we'll see. Kevin, if you want to do tomorrow's show, please let me know, okay? Let me know. Send me a text. Here's the thing, and I told you about this before. The Dodgers are pursuing an off-season trade with Cleveland to get Francisco Lindor. And that is hot and heavy. Francisco Lindor. Now, has the NBA... I've lost touch with... There's Andy.
I know you're going to help. I'm going to help you answer the phone.
What do you mean, answer the phone? Answer what phone?
I'm calling me. I want to get on with you again.
Oh, come on. I want you to just sit here and do what I'm doing.
Hello?
I can't hear you. Andrea's unavailable. That's right, because she's standing right freaking next to me. In order to do a 2-month... Close the door, because there are people out there who don't... Answer it. I can't. Oh, there it is. How do I answer it? I don't know what to hit. Answer what? Behind the scenes. Okay? This is how great shows. Well, hung up on herself. Okay?
Try again.
To do a 2-month road trip with anybody, you have to be a moron. Right, Andy?
You didn't accept. Yo.
Hi there, Andy.
Okay, can you hear me?
No, I can't hear you. And now you walk out the door, and I definitely
can't. You can't hear me? You can't hear me?
I can hear you now, but only out the door.
You can hear me now.
Not through my headset, but through the door. She's standing outside the door asking if I can hear her.
Mother effer.
Mother effer to you.
I can't say the F word anymore.
Why? What am I supposed to do?
Because my face is not on one side. I can't
Are you
say the
kidding
F.
me? The greatest thing now is to make Andrea laugh. She looks like a deflated basketball. Okay.
Okay, let me go in the bathroom then. Let me try to go.
Andrew's going to the bathroom. She wants us all to come in the bathroom with us, all right? So let's go into the bathroom with Andrea. There she goes. She's going down, makes the left. Are you going to keep the door open like you always do?
Yes, I will.
All right. So now she'll close the door. Okay.
Can you hear me now?
I can hear you.
Can the chat room hear me?
Can anybody in the chat room? That's the only thing we want to know. I don't think the chat room can hear you.
That guy, can you hear me?
I don't think
Chloe, can you hear me, Chloe?
Chloe, can Chloe hear you? What the hell is going on? Do we have any clue as to what's happening?
Can you check the chat?
All I know is I got the Mixler app up. I don't know how that
Look at the what?
Can anybody? Echo is back now. All right, we got the Echo. Andrea is fine, so go ahead, Andrea. You take it. Malpal is here. There you go. Good morning. All right, Andrea, go ahead. Go ahead.
Okay, let me have the headset.
Okay.
Take over.
Andrea taking over.
Now, let me sit on your lap real quick.
No, you can sit on the chair. I'm not touching you.
Can I fit on your lap?
I'm not touching you.
Come here. I want you to talk to me about... Butt. Oh, kid, please. Okay, people. Here we go. First of all, I'd like to just say that my phone died. I had an experiment going for any of those who have seen my phone. It was broken all over the screen for a year, and it finally died. And so I got a new phone. And so if I haven't been responding to anybody, it's just because I'm an antisocial, and but I'm doing good. Thanks for everybody's concerns and stuff. We spent a week at my mom's. We rested, and it was wonderful. So we're on our way home. Everything's good, but I don't want anybody to take it personal if I don't respond to you, if I haven't responded to you or whatever. I'm back in action. Anyway, Lenny and I were going to do this together today, but we can't get hooked up. Good. I forget how to use this speaker. Maybe Doug Boyle could teach me, because he seems to know what's going on. But I wanted to talk about a couple prospects that we saw at the Arizona Fall League that did a good job at Arizona Fall League, and may, because of their performance there, and maybe they're all different. There's 8 of them that may come out in 2020 that you'll see. You might want to look at them for your dynasty leagues or your keeper leagues, or I know how everybody loves the rookies. So let's get started with Lenny's favorite.
I woke up this morning, and we're staying walking distance from the restaurant, the Big Texan, and so she orders in, and I wake up and there's ribs and steaks all over the place.
Yeah, there was strawberry shortcake, but I ate that, so this is where the priorities lie here. Andres Jimenez. Now, I want to say too, Lenny actually wanted to start today's show by doing teams, by going over teams. He wants to do a team at a time, and that's great. But he wanted to start with the Mets. And then when I talked to him about these prospects, he's like, oh, actually, that's the whole reason I wanted to talk about the Mets. This Andres Jimenez, the shortstop. Now, we know that Ahmed Rosario plays shortstop, and he didn't do horrible last year, but he was better defensively than he was the year before. He's also very young. However, in the second half of the season, he wasn't great defensively, and it's getting to the point where it's like, can we even move him out to left field if we need to bring this guy Jimenez up to the majors? So I would, this kid stole 28 bases last year. It was his first full season in AA. His walk rate is going down, and his strikeout rate is going up. But Lenny really liked what he saw out of this kid, and you did not.
Give me the headset.
No, I don't listen
to it.
Ow!
What?
Oh, my ass is stuck. Okay, there's these.
Your ass is stuck where?
In this
Her
crap.
ass is stuck in a crack in the chair. You got a wooden chair, and her fat butt is stuck in the crack of the chair.
Fucking fat.
No, your butt is fatter than mine now, and I can prove it. I can prove it because I got pictures.
Okay.
Go ahead. Anyway.
Sit on my lap.
What?
Come
Sit on
my
your lap? Oh,
Here.
this is gonna be fun.
Okay,
You're gonna hear an You're gonna hear an ambulance in a couple of minutes.
Okay.
Oh, I can't sit on your.
About
I can't sit on your lap.
Jimenez.
Get up.
About him. Sit here.
All right.
Sit right here.
I saw Andres Jimenez in about 6 games.
Yeah, I thought
No, I did not. Now, defensively, he may be an improvement over Omar Rosario. Okay? Defensively. But otherwise, I didn't see a thing. And you can't screw around with Rosario thinking you can just put him in the outfield. Jimenez's success or opportunity is going to depend not on him. It's going to depend on how Rosario reacts being moved to the outfield.
Okay.
And that's the way it is. I didn't see anything up. Do you have the keys to the car?
Yeah, why do I want to go there? I'm talking with you.
Because I want to know where my keys are.
Oh,
Go
yes,
ahead.
I do. I have the keys.
All right. So, I don't think Jimenez is fantasy relevant. I don't see anything offensively. I know you see some stolen bases, but he doesn't. He didn't impress me. On a scale of 1 to 10, I'd give him a 3. So that's my take on Andres Jimenez.
Right. So I would say, turn your head over here and look at me so I can see.
Go ahead.
Okay.
Put your clothes on first.
Right. Okay.
No, I'm just kidding.
When would you ever say that?
Okay.
Ever. That came out of Lenny's mouth. Never. Okay. This guy's 21 years old. He stole a ton of bases. He steals bases. He's obviously, you just admitted that he's probably better defensively than Ahmed Rosario. And we thought Ahmed Rosario was going to come out and steal all these bases, but perhaps...
He will. How many bases did he steal last year?
I'm not sure.
More than you think, then.
No, I think less than you think.
I think he's in the 20s.
I think he finished the season good, though.
Ahmed Rosario is a star. A star.
Okay, but he can't play defense, so that's the
And
problem.
I don't think that's the case either.
Brandon Marsh again. Let's talk about him.
All right, that's good. Brandon Marsh, I'll agree
He
with
hit
you.
333. He only hit 2 home runs. He slugged 540, and he stole 4 bases, all of Arizona Fall League, which is not a huge sample size. But I got to say, this is my favorite player that I saw at Arizona. I think he's like the most ready, well-rounded player that I saw down there. I know everybody's all excited about Joe Adell. In The Athletic, they interviewed the beat writers about these prospects that we're talking about today, and the beat writers for every team, they put their input about it. And, I haven't heard any good things about Brandon Marsh from... Okay, Lenny's reaching up here. I got to move with the flow. Come back up.
Yeah, go ahead.
Comfortable. The scouts and the beat writers don't like this guy at all. They love Joe Adell. Joe Adell is just a name at this point. Please do not. This kid was not impressive. He
was the number one guy for me, Joe Adell.
Why?
His presence he just looks the part. And he did not have a game that he didn't do something good. Not great, but every game I saw him, 5 or 6 games, he did something good in every. He struck out a lot.
You put this guy next to Joe Adell and Brandon Marsh, and you watch the two, compare them together and what they did in the AFL, and you will see that Brandon Marsh is so much more mature.
The reason they don't like Brandon Marsh is because let's say he stretches a single into a double,
and then he does a dance.
He'll stand on second base and gyrate his hips.
Yes, I mean the guy is a great clubhouse
guy.
He's
a wackadoo. The guy is always pointing into the dugout, laughing with people. Pointing in, with a smile on his face.
Now these are traits that you cannot put into stats, but. Kevin came up with a great comparison, and it's not because of his beard looking exactly like Jason Worth. It's really more about...
Jason Worth. Fantastic, Kevin. Jason Worth is a comp.
And they say that there's no room for him, right? But we just found out that the Angels did not sign Cole Calhoun. That's what you just said.
Right.
They got Justin Upton, Trout, and then they say Brian Goodwin in right field. But they also have Taylor Ward. They love Joe Adell. They have another guy, Michael Hermosillo. But none of these guys are, I'm telling you, just from what I saw, and I'm not a scout, okay?
You're not? How'd you find me?
I did go to a hell of a lot of games.
How did you find me? So if you were a scout and you signed me, what would your rating as a scout be?
A little slow around the bases.
Slow around the bases.
A little slow, but
slow.
Good, nice early work ethic. Always on time.
Yeah, good speed. Okay.
Never a fucking day in his life that he showed up even remotely late.
All right, how's my power? Good
sometimes
power?
You got a little power sometimes.
How's my hit tool?
You're batting at the bottom of the order though, dude.
How about my hit tool?
Your fucking hit tool is junk.
All right, give me. Or give me a comp.
Okay, your comp.
Who's calling me?
Your first comp is.
Hold it. We got a phone call from one of our
of,
listeners. Okay, that's good.
It's spam.
All right, go ahead. You take it. Go ahead. Hello.
Nobody.
Speak up.
This is a great way to lose listeners.
Yeah.
Oh, you shitting me? Hang up the phone.
Hold
we
on.
are supposed to be setting an example.
Okay.
We're not doing that right now.
It's not a solicitation call.
It was from Visa and MasterCard.
Yeah, so they call. They want to know if I have a Visa.
They want to know if you have a card and what your card number is.
And I say I don't have a Visa. I'm an American citizen.
Yes. All right. I believe that Marsh is going to be standing in the outfield this year. I believe it. And I'm not a huge fan of rookies, but I think that he's going to find a way onto the roster. Definitely he will come to spring training. Keep an eye on this guy. I like him a lot. And then we can move on to somebody that
because we only have 2 minutes because we have to get in the car.
Where do we have to go?
North Carolina.
I just fucking put this together for the last 3 hours, so let me
So
finish
what do you want
it.
to do, spend 3 hours?
I'm going to finish what I did working on, and then we can go because we don't have any time limit to do things.
Go ahead.
Right, Leonard?
Go.
Greg Deichmann. Oakland A's. They love him. Oakland A's really like this guy.
Yes, got a lot of power.
But, dude, he hit 218
Don't
with 18...
call me dude.
218 with 18 home runs and 505 at bats. He stole 19 bases, though, okay? And he did not steal any bases the year before, so that's interesting. Go from 0 to 19 bases? But,
yes.
Okay. He had a horrible season, injury-riddled last year, so it's really hard to say what this AFL performance means. He did well. He hit 9 home runs in the AFL.
What's so funny about injuries? Why do people think injuries are funny?
Did I say that?
No, but if you said injury riddled.
Oh, injury, yeah.
So aren't riddles aren't riddled?
Some words have two meanings.
Isn't a riddle something that's supposed to make you laugh?
Riddled could mean.
Yeah, so injury riddled. That's an injury that's supposed to make you laugh.
Injury riddled means.
Doesn't make any fucking sense.
It's a different definition than the riddle that you're.
All right, go ahead.
That you know.
All right, back to you.
All right, he might have to repeat some AA, but so because. You got to look at if these people have a place to play. Bottom line, it was very apparent to me this year at the conference, at the HQ conference, that it's all about getting at bats. It's all about getting your players in action. If they're not playing, you got to drop them early in the season. You got to have like about 4 spots on your roster that you can rotate, that you can drop, and without, second guessing, you have to be willing to let go of players that aren't panning out. They're not getting playing time. But these guys, if they can get their way on a roster, once you get a spot, you fill in for somebody that's hurt, you have a good shot of keeping it if you do well.
Okay, next year, your pick. You're on the clock. You need an outfielder. Who do you take? You take Riddle? Not Riddle. You take Joey Adell or you take
Marsh.
Marsh. Who do you take?
I'm not taking Joe Adell in any draft.
If you have a choice, who do you take?
I'm taking Marsh.
Okay, go ahead.
30 rounds later.
Go ahead.
Marsh is a great for draft and hold. Draft in, the draft champion leagues at NFBC where you draft 50 players. This guy is a good one for round, 45 and 50 or whatever. These guys are great steals late. These are the guys that could help win your league if you have one of those leagues, okay? So this is Deichmann. He's probably owning a lot of dynasty and keeper leagues, but, whatever I said.
Are you a Dyke fan?
Jared Oliva.
Are you a Dyke
fan? I hate
fan?
even recommending anybody from the Pirates.
Are you a Dyke fan?
No, Leonard.
Yeah.
You're
It's okay if you are.
The number 4 prospect in the Pirates organization. This guy.
How's the sound? Everybody okay with the sound?
10 stolen bases in the AFL this year. 341 he batted. He stole 36 bases for AA Altoona. And then the year before that, he stole 33 bases in 2018. So he still batted 277. He hit a few home runs, but don't think he's going to hit a bunch of home runs in the majors. He's maybe hasn't developed all of his power yet. There's a good chance of that. But for the most part, this guy is not reliable for power. He hit 6 home runs, but 5 of them were outside of his home ballpark, which was a very pitcher-friendly or hitter-friendly.
Where did you say he played in the minors?
Altoona.
I haven't been in Altoona. I haven't been. Yeah, I do love Altoona.
As soon as I said it, you were coming up with jokes.
Altoona. I haven't been in Altoona in a while.
I don't. Here's the problem for this guy.
I got her.
Here's the problem for
She
Jared
doesn't know what to
Oliva.
say.
Jared Oliva, 23 years old, blocked by guess who?
Who?
Who's the best Pirates player?
Oh,
Offensive.
that would be
Marte.
yes, Starlin
He's
Marte.
the best defensive player. He's their best stolen base guy. I just don't know where this guy's going to play. He plays the same position as Starlin Marte. He will get a non-invite or non-roster invite, I think, to spring training. And who the hell knows what the Pirates are even going to do? But Neil Huntington, the manager over there, says...
No, he's gone. Neil Huntington fired.
Oh, shit. Well, he's mentioned before that the Pirates, maybe this is like something that he got fired for. Maybe they don't believe this anymore. But what he believed was that the Pirates could be competitive next season, even without making any big changes. So basically saying that we're going to bring up our... we're gonna sign Marte. Did they re-sign Marte?
Yeah, they will.
Okay,
But they
so
may trade him. We have 21 hours to get to North Carolina. Do you think we could drive straight?
Chloe. Hi, Chloe.
Can we drive straight to North Carolina?
Yeah, in your dreams, Leonard.
Go ahead.
How many P's will you take on that trip?
247 by the time we get out of the fucking parking lot.
All right. Here's the thing. He's blocked by Marte. That's a horrible thing. But you know these guys, if they're doing good, whatever. Keep them on your radar. Nick, how do you say his name? Neidert? Miami Marlins? Neidert.
Nicky Neidert.
Nicky Neidert. Thanking goodness that he pitches in Miami. Right? Last year he only made 13 starts, but 9 of them were at AAA. He missed most of the first half of the season because he had a torn meniscus. Sorry, I have a hard time pronouncing shit.
I know, you can't talk.
He has a 22.8% ground ball rate. What do you think of that, this guy?
It's better than mine.
This is a pitcher we're talking about here.
I can't get my balls in my fly.
Your balls are on the ground. If he didn't pitch in Miami Marlins Park, the biggest
Wait, so you're
park,
saying I have ground balls?
you have like much higher percentage than me too.
All right, go ahead.
Okay, so listen, Marlins Park. I think you can still get away with the Marlins Park. 22.8% ground ball rate is feasible there because people can't hit the ball out of the park even if it's
say feasible. Say feasible. You can't say feasible.
Fuck you.
When you have Bell's palsy, you can't say feasible, right?
You can't say refried beans. You can't say a lot of shit. You can say it, but
go ahead.
Forgive me on this. All right, I'm learning to talk again. Anyway, I don't know. This guy, they need him. Miami is going to bring him up. This is a team that has no problem bringing up players. Pitchers, he's a pitcher, 22 years old. He's ready. I expect him to be up. What do you think? They have Sandy Alcantara, Caleb Smith, Pablo Lopez, Jordan Yamamoto.
He's a candidate.
Yeah.
I don't know much about him. I'll ask Craig about him. I spoke to Craig yesterday.
He had a torn meniscus and an injury. His strikeout and walk rates moved in the wrong direction, but again, he pitches at Miller Park. Here's the beat writer's assessment, Andre Fernandez. He says that the AFL is encouraging because it shows that he's probably fully recovered from his meniscus injury. I think that was a big question going into the AFL. He strikes out batters a ton. 20.1 strikeout minus walk percentage. 46% ground ball percentage in 2017 and 2018 at that level. That would be at AAA. He's trending in the right direction to land a rotation spot in the majors, possibly even to open the season. Watch this guy. I love pitchers that pitch at Marlins Park. It's kind of like what San Diego used to be. You know, where you say a guy is a 7 average pitcher, but he goes to San Diego and he's like now an 8+. This is kind of really the case at Marlins Park, too. Griffin Roberts, 23-year-old St. Louis Cardinal, right? 43 overall pick, 2018. So this guy was barely drafted in 2018. He was suspended last year.
What position does he play?
You don't know what he picked?
No, I am not familiar with Griffin Roberts.
Okay, he's a pitcher.
How do you know all this shit?
I just studied this. Pitcher. He's a pitcher. He pitched actually as a starter and a reliever. But he got in trouble last year because he got caught smoking weed.
What are the chances of your wife knowing more about prospects than you do?
I finally found him because he got suspended for smoking weed.
Oh, that's it. Andy follows all the weed smokers.
Everywhere. Okay, so he started last season, and he had a 50-game suspension for that, which is a bunch of bullshit, by the way. It doesn't help you. Okay, he ended the season with a 6.44 ERA at high A. But AFL stats, 14 2/3 innings, 3.07 ERA, 18 strikeouts, 2 walks. What do you think? I think I really do think that the Cardinals...
Soon, he'll have an opportunity. There's a lot of pitchers. Cardinals have a lot of pitchers. They have a lot of great guys. Where are you, Sandy? I know you're... Sandy.
So listen.
Go ahead.
He came to AFL unexpectedly and competed against the best prospects in baseball. He actually pretty much shined there for his for the people that he was competing against and pitching with and all this. The Cardinals are a good team.
Yes.
For bringing up pitching.
Yes. Does anybody like when Andy and I do a show together?
Keegan Thompson, you know him? I'm almost
Keegan
done.
Thompson. I have a Keegan Thompson story.
2 more Keegan Thompson.
I'm sitting in the stands and I'm watching this kid sitting in the stands behind home plate with a line of people, mostly kids, looking to get his autograph. This guy signed every autograph, and when the line ended, he looked for more people to sign autographs. He's just sitting there. And I go up to him and I said, Keegan, baseball needs more Keegan Thompsons. He gave me a hug. I sat next to him for a little bit. Keegan Thompson, a fantastic human being. Exactly what baseball needs.
You know what they don't need? What baseball doesn't need?
You.
A bunch of people lining up and not just getting an autograph, but expecting these players to fucking sign like 12 cards for them, just one after the other. And it's obvious what they're doing, making money off of their likeness and their name. And it's rude. And I feel like I can't believe that they let it happen, because players, that is what makes them not want to sign autographs. It makes them not even want to walk over there. Because when you see people with their entire book out, they got like 12 cards so they could go run and sell it on eBay. It's just rude. Don't you think, Lenny?
Yes.
Okay. Here's my rant. But Keegan Thompson signs everything. There's a couple players like that. Do you remember the other guy that signed everything?
Yes.
What was his name? Juan?
Lopez. Lopez. It doesn't matter. Go ahead.
The Cubbies. Keegan Thompson is a Cubby, starting pitcher. He didn't do well in the AFL this year. He had 21 innings with a 5.48 ERA, but he did strike out 22 and walked 6. He was injured all of last season, but in 2018 he made 25 starts. Double-A Tennessee, 3.61 ERA, 1.15 WHIP, 115 strikeouts in 129 innings. Says his changeup is the reason that he was working on his changeup at the AFL. It was well known, documented. He was working on a new pitch, his changeup. They say, Lenny, that every added pitch that you can put in your arsenal dramatically lowers the risk of facing batters the third time through the order. Every time you have another pitch. So if you only have 2 good pitches, you're screwed third time through. Makes sense, right? If you have 3 or 4 good pitches,
that's it.
You can pitch a complete game like Verlander.
Absolutely. Go ahead.
I'm reading the book that Kevin Hastings gave me. RBI Machine, or MVP Machine.
Yes.
Sorry.
Very good.
I listen to it on Audible and read along in the book.
Very good. Thanks to that guy and Onoli Toledo and Kevin and Malpal and Doug, Chloe, and DK Lush. Thank you all for being here. We'll finishing up in just a minute.
I can't stand you.
On our way to North Carolina.
Okay, I guess we're going. See you later.
No,
bitch.
Go ahead.
No, fuck you. We're going.
Don't fuck me.
How can you start saying goodbye to people and then tell me?
I say it all the time. I love these people. They
Get
come in. They support us. They're the greatest people in the
Get
world.
in the car. Be quiet. Put the duct tape on your mouth and start driving.
Put it on
That's
your
the
ass.
system that we have.
The duct tape.
He needs duct tape on his mouth. No, he doesn't.
Go ahead.
I love you, Leonard.
I love you, Andrea.
Goodbye.
Goodbye.